Hello friends, today's topic is food rheology. Food rheology is the study of the deformation and the flow of raw materials, intermediate products and the final products of the food industry. So by definition we can say that food rheology is the study of the deformation and flow of raw materials, intermediate products and the final products of the food industry. The rheological property of a food system is dependent on the composition or the ingredients of the system, and this rheological property of a food system is dependent on the composition and ingredients of the system. There are numerous areas where the rheological data are needed in the food industry. Now we will see about the numerous areas where these rheological data are applicable in the food industry. First one is the process engineering calculation involving different equipment such as pipelines, pumps, mixers, heat exchangers, etc. Second, determining ingredient functionality in product development. Third, intermediate or final product quality control. Fourth, shelf life testing, and next is the characterizing ingredients and the final products. So the different areas where the food rheology applicable in food industry are: first one is it gives an idea about the process engineering calculations involving wide range of equipment such as pipelines, pumps, mixers, etc. It's also helpful in determining the ingredient functionality in product development, intermediate or final product quality control, shelf life testing of the different food products, characterizing ingredients and the final products. Besides this, it is applicable in predicting product performance and consumer acceptance, evaluation of the product texture, analysis of rheological equations to predict and control product properties, end-use performance and material behavior, to study the sensory analysis and quality control of foods. So, these are the different areas where the food rheology is applicable. Next, why the study of rheology is important. Much useful behavioral and predictive information for various products can be obtained, as well as knowledge of the effects of processing, formulation changes, aging phenomenon, etc. can be obtained by the analysis of the rheology. Next, direct assessment of the process ability can be obtained. Most sensitive method for the material characterization, because flow behavior is responsive to properties such as molecular weight and molecular weight distribution, and rheological measurements allow the study of chemical, mechanical and thermal treatments. First is that it gives a much useful behavioral and predictive information about the various products, and it gives direct assessment of the product processability, most sensitive method for material characterization, because flow behavior is related to the properties such as molecular weight and molecular weight distribution, and also rheological measurements allow the study of chemical, mechanical and thermal treatments. Next is the rheological parameter. Viscosity is the resistance to deformation and flow. It is the measure of the internal friction of a fluid. The friction becomes apparent when a layer of fluid is made to move in relation to another layer. Different fluids deform at different rates under the same shear stress. Fluid with a high viscosity, such as syrup, deforms more slowly than fluid with a low viscosity, such as water. The rheological parameter which is analyzed is the viscosity. It is the resistance to deformation and flow, and it is the measure of the internal friction of a fluid. The friction becomes apparent when a layer of fluid is moved over another layer, and the different fluids deform at a different rate under the same shear stress, and the fluid with a high viscosity such as syrup deforms more slowly than fluid having low viscosity like water. The greater the friction, the greater the amount of force required to create a shear, and the shearing occurs whenever the fluid is physically moved or disturbed, like pouring, spreading, spraying, etc. And highly viscous fluids require more force to move than less viscous material. The fundamental unit of viscosity is poise, and it's also expressed in pascal seconds or millipascal seconds. Viscosity is equal to shear stress divided by the shear rate. And what is the shear stress? Shear stress is the external force acting on an object or surface parallel to the slope or plane in which it lies, or it is a stress tending to produce shear. Whereas shear rate is the rate at which a progressive shearing deformation is applied to some material. Shearing means the occurrence of a shear strain, and it is induced by a shear stress in the material. All fluids can be divided into two basic types, namely the Newtonian and the non-Newtonian fluids. First, we will say what is this Newtonian fluid. A Newtonian fluid is a fluid in which the viscous stresses arising from its flow at every point are linearly correlated to the local strain rate, that is, the rate of change of its deformation over time. Newtonian fluids are named after Isaac Newton, who first used the differential equation to postulate the relation between the shear strain rate and the shear stress for such fluids. A Newtonian fluid's viscosity remains constant no matter the amount of shear applied for a constant temperature. And examples of the Newtonian fluid are water, mineral oil, alcohol, etc. Next is the non-Newtonian fluid. On the other hand, non-Newtonian fluids are the opposite of Newtonian fluids. When shear is applied to non-Newtonian fluids, the viscosity of the fluid changes. The behavior of the fluid can be described one of four ways. First one is the dilatant. Here, viscosity of the fluid increases when shear is applied. Example, quicksand, cornflour. Next one is the pseudoplastic. Pseudoplastic is the opposite of the dilatant. Here, the more the shear applied, the less viscous it becomes. Example is a ketchup. Third one is the rheopectic. Rheopectic is very similar to the dilatant in that when shear is applied, the viscosity increases. The difference here is that the viscosity increase in time dependent. Example, gypsum paste, cream, etc. Next is the thixotropic. Here, fluids with the thixotropic properties decrease in viscosity when the shear is applied, and it is a time-dependent property. Example, paint, cosmetics, glue, etc. Next is the factors affecting the rheological parameters of a fluid. First one is the temperature. One of the most obvious factors that can have an effect on the rheological behavior of a material is its temperature. Some materials are quite sensitive to temperature, and relatively small variation will result in a significant change in viscosity. Some others are relatively insensitive to temperature. Consideration of the effect of temperature on viscosity is essential in the evaluation of the materials that will be subjected to temperature variations in use or processing, like starch paste, vegetable oils, etc. Second factor is the measuring conditions. The condition of a material during measurement of its viscosity can have a considerable effect on the results of such measurement. Variables such as viscometer model, sample container size, sample temperature, sample preparation techniques, etc. Third one is the time. The time elapsed under conditions of shear obviously affects the thixotropic and rheopectic materials. Aging phenomena must be considered when selecting and preparing samples for viscosity measurement. Many materials will undergo changes in viscosity during the process of a chemical reaction, so that a viscosity measurement made at one time in the reaction may differ significantly from another. Fourth point is the pressure. Variation in pressure may cause dissolved gases to form bubbles. And pressure compresses fluid and thus increases its intermolecular resistance. Liquids are compressible under the influence of very high pressure, similar to gases but to a much lesser extent, and the increase of the pressure tend to increase the viscosity. Fifth point is the previous history. What happened to a sample prior to a viscosity measurement can significantly affect the result, especially in fluids sensitive to heat or aging. Thus, storage conditions and sample preparation techniques must be designed to minimize their effect on subsequent viscosity tests. Thixotropic materials in particular are sensitive to prior history as their viscosity will be affected by stirring, mixing, etc. or any other activity which produces shear in the sample. The sixth one is the composition and additives. The composition of a material is the determining factor of its viscosity. When this composition is altered either by changing the proportions of the component substances or by the addition of other materials like additives, there will be a change in its viscosity. Thank you.